Marvel Universe is as big as it is complicated, but that's why fans love it so much. The characters are so diverse that there's a champion for everyone, and a corresponding villain. Thanks to the Avengers movies, Thanos is one of the most widely recognized Marvel bad guys, and it's not hard to see why. He has incredible superhuman strength, speed, and stamina. He's immortal and challenges this incredible otherworldly power that us mere mortals could never comprehend. But just because he's the most talked about doesn't necessarily mean he's the most powerful. Sorry, Thanos, but there's a couple of guys and gals that could easily take you on. Join us as we take a look at 10 Marvel villains who are stronger than Thanos, ranked from impressive to unstoppable. It's really good for Mangog that we like our villains ugly, because this guy isn't about to win any Mr. Marvel Universe pageants anytime soon. While it certainly helps that Mangog is huge, his strengths go way beyond his impressive size. A bad guy the size of a pea doesn't exactly strike fear into superheroes like Thor, does it? Described as having the hatred of a billion beings, Mangog is a monster that runs on pure rage. Thor has a long history with Mangog and has been able to hold him back so far. Ultimately, Thor's daddy, Odin, had to boot Mangog's butt back to outer space. When Thor needs some help, you know that there's something serious going on. If he's brave enough to take on Asgard, then Mangog is crazy enough to do just about anything, which gives him a lot of points just for trying. The best thing about this guy is that he lives only because people hate each other. Once they stop, he would die, but we all know that will never happen. What would the writers do? Pen stories about intergalactic tea parties? Very unlikely. Chaos King, Lord of the Dead. Let these nicknames sink in. They don't hand these titles out willy-nilly. Mikoboshi is a member of a Japanese pantheon of gods, and boy, does he know how to bring the pain. Brimming with supernatural energy and the kind of power that makes the whole MCU shake in their boots, Mikoboshi is known far and wide for his exploits. He once launched an attack on all of Olympus, taking on the likes of the mighty Zeus, Hercules, and Ares. No one would do that unless they were confident they would win. Or they were completely intent on being destroyed, of course, and that doesn't seem like Mikoboshi's style. Mikoboshi could certainly pose a threat to Thanos, considering that he killed Zeus outright, but it might be a different story if the battle took place on Thanos' turf. In the right circumstances, Thanos could beat Mikoboshi, but if it were an ambush, the Japanese monster Whirlwind could teach Thanos a few tricks that he's never seen before. Michael Korvac came from humble beginnings, just like you and me. This regular Joe stumbled into comic godness after he excelled in the tech world and eventually betrayed the human race by joining the Brotherhood of Badoon. You know, like you do. Nothing like a bit of casual betrayal that could bring about the demise of your entire civilization, right? Unfortunately, the Badoon didn't like his work ethic and punished him by turning him into some weird half-cyborg, half-man creation. He gets his own back further down the line when he slays all of them and makes big plans to conquer the entire universe. You know what they say, hell hath no fury like a computer nerd scorned. After an encounter with Galactus, Korvac is able to download information from his ship and acquire the power Cosmic, giving him the ability to project energy, alter matter, teleport, and manipulate time and space. No big deal. Korvac has the brains and the brawn to give Thanos a run for his money, even if he's a bit of a scumbag. The only trouble is that he's technically just a machine and still half mortal. So if someone were to get too close, couldn't they just short-circuit him? As far as intimidating looks go, Surtur is the worst. He's all red and fiery, hailing from the extra-dimensional plane of Muspelheim. This demon isn't just hell-bent on destruction, he's super intelligent and despicable with it. Not only that, but he's super old, older than even Odin. With age comes a lot of wisdom, so he knows a lot about his foes. Plus, he's over 1,000 feet tall, so that definitely goes in his favor. It's thought that Surtur's level of power is equal to that of Odin, so he's sort of a big deal. Arguably, one of the biggest things he's got going for him is his sword, Twilight, affectionately known as the Sword of Doom. The sword can do all manner of things, like manipulating mystical energies and shattering dimensional barriers. Whereas your sword, Thanos, it'll be hard to fashion a shield that can counter the Sword of Doom, especially without the dwarves who made your gauntlet. The Beyonder basically does what he says on the tin. He's beyond everyone and everything. When it comes to masterminding evil plans, you don't get better than him. His power? Well, the Beyonder is a multiverse in himself, meaning that he's able to do pretty much anything he wants. His power is near enough limitless. He can destroy entire universes at a whim, recreate them with the flick of a wrist, and even control Mistress Death. Although, that's a bit difficult even for him. Beyonder's powers have changed over time, but he's never lost the ability to manipulate matter, energy, and even distort reality with the best of them. Can Thanos do that? Even with the powers of all the Infinity Stones, it's a little doubtful that Thanos can beat a multiverse. Dr. Doom. Even the name sounds formidable, doesn't it? Some fans believe that this character is the most dangerous being in the entire MCU, and they've got a darn good reason for it. Some of the big names in the game are driven purely by an insane desire for power, but Dr. Doom has the brains to back it up. He's so smart that virtually any plan he comes up with is foolproof, so that makes beating him really difficult. Some of his victories include besting the Silver Surfer to steal the power Cosmic, taking the powers from the Beyonder, and sending his enemies to the fiery pits of hell without breaking a sweat. While Thanos might have Doctor Doom bested in terms of brute strength and fighting records, he doesn't have the same mental capacity that Doom has. Thanos' choices are limited, and his plans are not nearly as well executed. They say that love makes you do the wacky, and in this case, it couldn't be truer. Thanos has long since had feelings for the big, bodacious babe that is Mistress Death. Bit of an odd crush to have, but this is Thanos we're talking about. He was never going to love an X-Men or Mary Jane Watson, was he? The thing about this is that Mistress Death is, well, death. She can do anything she wants without facing any repercussions, and the power she holds over her beau Thanos is second to none. He wants to get on her good side so badly that he'll do absolutely anything for her, and he has been known to annihilate half of all life in the universe by using the Infinity Gauntlet to win her over. Mistress Death clearly isn't that bothered about Thanos, but plays up to his affections to manipulate him. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that she holds all the cards that could potentially, and quite easily, lead to his demise. If Galactus had a sister, Phoenix would be it. Only she'd be bigger, badder, and generally more kick-butt. Galactus loves to chow down on the odd planet or three, but Phoenix is like that on steroids. Phoenix doesn't have a purpose. She's just chock full of greed, and that leads her to compulsively eat all of the stars that she comes across. Her ultimate goal would be to guzzle down the universe itself, and then what chance would Thanos have? Phoenix can gobble up the universe and then have Thanos for dessert. Mephisto is a truly scary character that can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He came up against the likes of Peter Parker in Spider-Man One More Day, where he demonstrated his ability to change history. Unfortunately for Spidey and MJ, Mephisto erased their wedding completely. This red devil-like entity is the supreme lord of a land full of demons, so major points there. If he couldn't do his dirty work, then he could just send someone else to do it for him. The fact is, Mephisto can't die, so how could Thanos ever fully kick his butt properly? Marvel fans are divided over this one, but most agree that when it comes down to straight power, Mephisto could wipe the floor with Thanos. However, if Thanos put some careful prep into his plan of action, it might be a different story. Even then, like we said, Mephisto can't die and has the ability to change past events, so couldn't he just do the old memory wipe and erase defeat anyway? When it comes to bad guys, Galactus reigns supreme. Pretty much anyone that's ever tried to take on this guy has failed spectacularly. Some have come close, but Galactus seems to regroup at an impressive rate. No matter what you do, this guy just won't go away. Let's face it, you don't earn the nickname Eater of Worlds by hopping from planet to planet to sell Girl Scout cookies. Galactus is more than a simple being. As Odin said, he's a force of nature. His entire existence revolves around him searching through time and space to eat planets, absorbing entire civilizations to satisfy his unending hunger. The universe is an all-you-can-eat buffet to Galactus. So how could Thanos possibly compete with that? The pair have butted heads.